sitting here at the PGA show, so if you hear some background noise, but it makes it kind of a nice ambience. But I wanted to sit down with Jeff King, who's the founder and leader of Kingmade Jerky, who I first came, I stole some out of the locker room probably 8 years ago. And it's the best damn jerky there is, but it's a cool story because it's just, you started it as a PGA Tour caddy. Why?
Basically, I was just a little bit fed up with a huge jerky fan, to begin with. But as caddies, we're on the road quite a bit in the car, and I always stopped in gas stations anywhere when I had to get gas. And if there was a branded jerky that I've never seen, it didn't matter what it was, how much it was. If there was one I never seen, I bought them. And I just wanted to try because I'm kind of a creature of habit. We all are. Mm-hmm. And if I found something I liked, I would buy that all the time. And every jerky that I seemed to buy was, like broke your teeth.
Oh, God, it's awful.
Right, super salty. And it was just, for years, it was a pattern of the same stuff. So I was just bored, man. 3 weeks off one time on a stretch in between the schedule there. And I just said, hey, I had this crazy idea, go get a dehydrator, and I'm going to make beef jerky. So I Googled a recipe.
Had never done it before.
Never done it before. I just Googled a recipe, and Alton Brown, I kind of like the Food Channel
here
and there. So Alton Brown said, well, go get some flank steak, throw some spices in a bowl, and put it on a dehydrator for 6 or 8 hours. So I did.
And you were like, damn, I got something here.
No, actually the first batch I made was tragically terrible. And I took one bite of it, and I threw every tray of it in the garbage. Because it takes like 15, 16 hours to make a batch of jerky in your kitchen. So I was, you look forward to, okay, it sits overnight after you slice it. It's sitting in this marinade. You put it on the rack, and then you got to wait 6 to 8 hours. And you're looking at the clock going, I'm so excited. I can't wait for this stuff to come. And it came out, and it was absolutely, it tasted so bad. So you're torn. Like, I'm going to get that, Now it's a challenge.
Now I'm going to do this.
It's me against the dehydrator, and we got a game.
Yeah.
So second batch was similar. It was not very good. It took about 4 times to where I kind of had this idea of the flavor that I wanted, and it came out the 4th time, and it was pretty dang good. So I was like, all right, cool. But now I forgot what I did to make that.
Been there.
Everybody, right? So I tried it a couple more times, and I was like, okay, we had a tournament coming up at the time. I was caddying for Luke List. I was like, I'm going to take for me. I mean, no other reason. I didn't have any intention of anything. I just wanted to have some good beef jerky, and that was it. So I took it out there, and we got there on Tuesday for the practice round, and I just told Luke, I said, hey, if you're hungry, I made some beef jerky. It's in the bag. Don't even ask. Help yourself. So we get to about the 4th or 5th hole, and he's like, you said you got beef jerky in there? I said, yeah, go. He eats a few pieces, gets up to the green. He's like, bro, how long you been making jerky? Your whole life? And I started laughing. I thought he was joking. And I said, no, man, like 2 weeks. And he goes, that's the best jerky I ever had. We were playing with Scott Brown in the practice round. Scott Brown's like, jerky, I love jerky. Digs his hand in there. He's like, damn, Kinger, this is the best stuff I ever had in my life, man. I've had tons of jerky. And I'm laughing, going, you got me, whatever, you guys are nuts. So Scott Brown went and told a few guys on the putting green, like, he has some, really good jerky. Next thing I know, all these guys are digging in my golf bag, and I don't have any jerky left. So I'm like,
so they took up your whole 3-week track.
And I was like, wait a second here. Nationwide caddies not making enough money to support everybody's beef jerky habits out here. So we played a couple weeks. I went back home, and I got right back in there, made some more. So now I get it. Okay, everybody's going to steal it from me. I'm hiding it. So Scott Brown comes up to me and says, where is it? And I'm like, man, he's telling you where it's at.
Contraband.
He goes, hey, listen. He goes, the guys really liked it last time. If I get some guys to pay for it, would you make it for them? I'm like, God, is this a joke? I'm like, I'm out here to win golf tournaments, not make people beef jerky. And sure enough, man, he came up the next day, and he goes, I got 4 guys that'll pay you for your beef jerky. Would you make it? No problem. So I did, went back out there. And the next thing you knew, it happened so fast, I didn't know what was going on. Guys were like, hey, Kinger, could you make me some of that? Hey, could you make me some of that? The next thing I know, I got to make 20 pounds of beef jerky. Well, one dehydrator doesn't, it's not pumping out too much jerky. So I go buy another one. Another couple months go by. Now I got 3 dehydrators. It's just going. I've never asked one person to buy this beef jerky, and guys are coming left and right, texting me, calling, could I get a couple pounds of that one? And now they're giving me advice on what flavors they want. So now I go back home, and I'm messing around with recipes, making different stuff for certain people. I mean, it came to a point where I had 5 dehydrators. My whole kitchen turned into literally a beef jerky factory, and I was flying to tournaments with duffel bags full of beef jerky in Ziploc bags, vacuum.
I can imagine TSA going, okay, what's...
Every single time I put the thing on, and the lady look at me and go, wow, that smells good. What is it? It's beef jerky. Could I just have a boarding pass? Get me out of here. I'm not telling you the story.
Yeah.
What are you doing, smuggling beef jerky all over the country? So Luke ended up getting his PGA Tour card. I go on the PGA Tour, and by the time I got in there, guys already caught wind, and I started getting text messages from everybody. I mean, Billy Horschel, Davis Love, Graham McDowell, Cooch, everybody was just, can I have some jerky? It was the craziest thing. I mean, till this day, you're pinching yourself, but I had to make jerky. I worked harder on off weeks than I did.
Lugging the 50-pound bag was easier.
Way easier. At least you got time out. You knew when, after a round, if you hit some balls, you were going home.
Yeah.
When those dehydrators are going, you're up, check-in, slicing meat, marinate,
So how big did your operation get? I mean, I feel like I'm talking to Breaking Bad.
Exactly, man. That's what
you're cooking meth in an RV.
Now that Breaking Bad came out, that's exactly what was going on. I mean, I live in Dallas, Texas, so there was 2 weeks off prior to Colonial and Byron Nelson. Or there was a week off, but we weren't in Colonial. So I had 2 weeks at home, and when they knew I was home, my phone beeped every 30 minutes. And it was a player, it was a caddie, it was a rep, it was a somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking at sheets I had order sheets that I had made at my house. And I'm looking at all this, and I can make about 70 pounds a week, and that's sleeping very little with the 5 dehydrators.
Because it's going 24 hours a day.
All said and done, in 24 hours, I can make 70 pounds of beef jerky in my kitchen. And that's 2 to 4 hours sleep. It didn't matter what time of day. It didn't matter. You had to set an alarm at 2:30 in the morning. You had to wake up and check, and you had to slice at this time. You had to let them marinate. You had to load the dehydrators at this time. It was a cycle. And once I got adapt to that cycle, it was like clockwork. But no, I didn't sleep very much. So I went to Colonial. I actually had to call my parents, and I asked my mom. I said, "What are you guys doing next week?" And they're in Phoenix, and she goes, "Nothing. Why? Is everything okay?" Well, I said, "Well, I need you to come to Dallas. I need some help with something." I wasn't going to tell my mom because you can't imagine what a mom's thinking if you're, "Mom, come help me make beef jerky." Son, you've lost it.
Yes.
Right? So I said, "Mom, put that on the phone." And he got on the phone. I told him, I said, "Go in the garage or something." I said, "Listen, man, here's the deal. Every one of these guys on the tour wants me to make them beef jerky, and I have so many orders. I need help. I can't make it myself." He was like, "All right, man, I'm on it. I'm checking tickets." I said, "But don't tell Mom." He goes, "Oh, no, I'm not telling Mom." So they showed up in Dallas and walked in, and my mom saw what I had set up in my kitchen, and my dad is already opening the slicer,
he's going.
Where's the cutting board, sharpening the knives. He don't know what he's doing. He don't care what he's doing, but he's helping. And my mom looked at me and goes, "Are you serious? We're here to make beef jerky." And my phone beeped at the time. Jimmy Walker, Kinger, can I have to? Now, keep in mind, I don't know these guys.
Yeah, you're just a caddy.
Just been out there for 3 months.
Yeah, you'd been on the Nationwide tour.
Nationwide and LPGA, correct, yeah. So I said, "Mom, don't ask, but here's what I have to do." And I showed her, and there's 3 full pages front and back of orders from players and caddies.
Big name players.
Big name players. And I said, she goes, "Well, are you making any money at it?" I said, "That's not the point." I said, "I'm making very little, but do you understand that these guys are people that you idolize? You work with them, but 2, these are the best in the world that want something you're doing. It doesn't get any more cool than that."
Yeah.
So I ended up driving out to Colonial with my trunk full of boxes of beef jerky, and I pulled into the back of the range where you're not supposed to. It's only the rep trailers, and there's a policeman there. And I had shown him my badge, and I'm not caddying. I showed him my badge, and I had to sneak these in because if I went to the front of the range, the clubhouse, I had to get carted down with all these boxes. It would have just been extra hours.
Yeah.
So I said, "Listen, sir, I'm a caddy. I just have to drop something off. I'm going to be no longer than 10 minutes. Is that okay?" And he looks at me and he goes, no longer than 10 minutes. I said, you got it. I pull in, I open my trunk, I start pulling boxes out of my trunk and laying them on the ground. And he walks by me and he looks and goes, are you the caddy that makes that beef jerky? And I started shaking my head like, Jesus, are you kidding me? I said, yes, I am. And I start walking it over to the range, and here comes Davis Love pulling up in a cart to the range to hit some balls. And he looks at me and he starts laughing. He goes, hey, man, how's your sleep going? And I looked at him and I go, no way. And he had already talked to one of the other caddies.
Yeah.
He goes, I heard. He goes, how many pounds? I said, 170. And he just looked at me and started. He said, good for you.
Yeah.
So it just spread like that, and they all kept telling me, get it in stores, get it in stores. And, I didn't know the first thing about getting in stores, so they started offering help. Call this guy. He knows how to do this. This person knows this. I knew a friend in foods that kind of gathered everything together and put it all together for us, and off it went. And they were the happiest bunch of people once that they were happier than I was actually when it first came out in the package.
That's how I first came across it. I can't remember if we were doing a practice round together, and it may have been GMAC or it may have been Chapel or who knows. But I remember them going, "Oh, you're in for a treat. King's here with his beef jerky," and you pulled it out of a Ziploc bag at that time.
Yeah.
And I was like, "This thing is amazing." And then I was at Bama one day, and our nutritionist is like, I saw it on her desk, and I was like, "That's the best damn jerky." And she goes, "Oh, I know. It's moist." Because that's the problem with jerky. People want to eat jerky when they're doing things because of all the protein and all, but you can't eat it. Your mouth is dry from competing. You can't get it down. You're eating rawhide, and by the time you're done, you got tension in your jaws.
Yeah.
This is amazing stuff.
Yeah, that was the main reason. He was like, I wanted something to eat. Now, it was expensive. The meat. I found out later on that the majority of brands use a certain type of steak, round steak, and it's extremely tough.
Yeah.
So I use flank steak. Alton Brown said use flank steak, and that was the biggest difference. I think it was tender that made it tender.
Oh, it's so good.
And then everybody, guys like Vaughn Taylor and DJ, everybody wanted their own flavor. So I ran home and made the flavors and brought them out, and that made, so now you got extremely tender, you got soft, and as it turned out, I ended up making it a jerky that was, my opinion, everything's too salty, and the majority of the public don't eat jerky because of the sodium content. And we made something that's low in sodium, low in sugar, it's a protein snack, low calories. Now it's grass-fed and it's gluten-free, so the market itself is coming toward the healthier side of things, and somehow, I'm not sure exactly to this day, but we made it that way. I somehow did that, and that's why the guys liked it.
Hell yeah, because there's such healthy eaters out there. I mean, it's really remarkable to see. What is the trajectory? I know you guys just signed a deal, and you're the official beef jerky of the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
What is the trajectory of it? I mean, because any kind of business entrepreneurial experience it's not a straight line. It's a lot of up and downs. It's a lot of challenge. It's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of sleepless nights, not only producing it, but maintaining it and all the other factors.
Yeah. When it first started, you never dream of owning a business. There wasn't any intention of starting a business. So I had to learn every single thing, and you do, like you said, learn the hard way on things, and there have been plenty of speed bumps, but you just had this vision of this is where you're going, man. It's like, this is cool now. If all these guys think it's that good, then maybe baseball players and soccer and fitness people and the CrossFitters and even the nutrition people, you start thinking like GNC, it would go there. All these ideas come in your head, and you learn, how do I have to do that? And all these guys that supported all the players, hey, this person knows how to do X, and this person, and they all just piled all this great knowledge and ideas, and if it wasn't for them and their support, I probably would have, I'd never given up on anything, but I wouldn't have been able to survive because I wouldn't have known who to call or who to talk to about certain things, whether it's distribution, production, the packaging, the marketing of it. I didn't know any of that, zero at the beginning, and I had to learn so much. And I mean, there was plenty of mistakes made, but as it turns out, the PGA Tour, the meat snack category itself is absolutely exploding with everybody, working out and taking care of their bodies, the millennials and so forth. So some companies are getting bought for some pretty hefty price tags, and that's when the PGA Tour gave me a buzz and said, Kinger, we see all these guys, Ricky and I mean everybody just posting stuff, pictures on Instagram and tweeting, and they knew I wasn't paying them for it because I didn't start with hardly any money. So they were doing it because they believed in the product, and that's, as professional athletes competing at the highest level, that's what they wanted to fuel themselves with while they're competing. So the PGA Tour got it real quick. They understood that this isn't a joke. This thing's a real deal. And we ended up, after a period of talks and
is it as popular on the LPGA Tour as it is on the PGA?
It is, yeah.
Different flavors profile or same?
No, same ones. Unfortunately, like I said, it is expensive, so I'm not. I don't take it out there as often. Yeah. But the girls and players still do pay for it when they want it. They'll just say, "Could I have some shipped to my house?" And I always gave them, the player rate.
Yeah.
Where they're not paying. And listen, we understand it's expensive, but at the same time, when you do have quality stuff, you're not going to get it cheap, and it's expensive to make.
There's a brilliant podcast that I love called How I Built This by Guy Raz. And I know you're in the car a lot. You should download it and listen to it. But he talks to people who built businesses, entrepreneurs who succeeded. One of my favorite episodes, there's two of them. One was Chicken Salad Chick. I don't know if you're familiar with Chicken Salad Chick. It's a 100% chicken salad restaurant. Chicken salad, tuna salad, but it's all that. And it was started in Auburn, Alabama, but it's a brilliant story, so I'll send you the link. The other one was about the guy who started Five Guys. And he and his 4 sons, 5 guys, wanted to start a hamburger restaurant because he saw, it's like, look, people say they were going to go get a burger. It's either you're going to go to a really nice restaurant and get a burger, or you can go to a fast food, and you're going to get marginal products, but it's made for convenience. So he said, I went to my kids and said, we're going to open up a restaurant in the worst part of Baltimore. Low rent, low thing, but if we can sell it there, we can sell it anywhere. And he told his kids, who were in charge of get the best products. Don't worry about cost. I mean, to this day, do you know how much a Five Guys cheeseburger is?
Oh, geez, no.
It's not cheap.
Right.
Okay, but nobody cares because the mayonnaise comes from one distributor, the French fries come from another, the lettuce comes from another, and it's this amazing process of how he defined exactly, and that's when I'm listening to you, that's what I'm hearing is I'm doing it because it's what I like, and if it's good, people are going to follow. If you chintz on certain areas, people are going to notice the difference and go, ooh. Because I'm sure quality control has been difficult as you've grown. I mean, you probably have a distribution center now, right?
Yeah.
You're not doing this in your kitchen.
No. It's been produced up in Nebraska for the last 6 years, ever since it went into the commercial package. We have a co-packer up there, and they ship it over to Columbus, Ohio, and it's fulfilled out of there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're dealing with distribution centers and fulfillment centers.
Yeah, stuff. When they first said co-packer, I was like, what the heck does that mean? I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And then they go, well, here's the first step in starting this thing and getting it into a package is you have to send them your recipes. And I kind of glanced around. I'm like, there isn't any recipes. Send them what? It's in my head. You cut the meat, you put it in a bowl, and you start going because you just – no, it's like tying your shoes. Like, where's the instructions? There is none. So I ended up having to load up my car with all my ingredients, and I had to drive to Nebraska with everything. And they had 3 people at a table with scales and a bowl there, and they go, okay, make this one.
Really?
And I started laughing. I'm like, well, this is weird because I'm not in my kitchen.
Yeah.
It's like there's a program.
Performance anxiety.
Yeah. And there's beverages in the fridge outside that I'm used to have. I'm like, wow, this is pressure. I could really mess this up. I've never done this. So, no, they did, and they did a great job. Actually, they didn't really have to, the first run on it, they got pretty close on everything, and then they, the whole process, man. It was that was it. I had to learn everything. It was super cool. I had to go in the plant, in the production plant to watch them make it, and I had to wear the plastic hair mat, mat thing on the head, and wear the white cape like the butcher shop, and put the footies on the. And I'm watching these guys in real time slice up 100 pounds of meat at a time, stuff that takes me 6-8 hours. They're doing it in 7 minutes. I was so mad. It's like, how come I don't have that machine? He goes, well, it's 4,800. I'm like, well, that's why I don't have it.
Yeah, I need a lot more jerky to sell.
I got a knife.
You have a kind of line extension? Are you looking at any new flavors? How do you do that? Do you do that in your kitchen first?
Actually, over the years, I did. I had messed around with several things, from sticks to turkey to chicken, everything. I've tried it all these days. So now when we get to this point where we do have opportunity to grow, I watch the market every day of what people are doing, and I see mistakes and I see things that work. So now I can go, okay, I know this works, and I know here's what we have to do. And that's where we're at right now. We do have new stuff coming shortly. It should be, if I had to put a timeline on it, I'd say another couple months. But they've already done samples. We've already run nutritionals. So now we're dialing that stuff in to keep it quality. We're going to stay quality, but we are making stuff that's going to be more cost-friendly for people, and it's going to be higher-end people that like clean products that take care of their body.
Yeah.
And we're super happy with the way the first run of things came out. We didn't have to really tweak too much with stuff, so we're super excited about that. I don't want to give away too much.
No, don't.
It's gonna be pretty fun when it does happen.
Are you at a spot where, or is there to not caddy anymore and do this full time? Or do you enjoy the caddy relationship?
I love it, man. It's like I've been a competitor my whole life, and being out there with the best in the world, that experience, I mean, you can't replace that. So, and I get that question a lot, and I always tell people, it's like, listen, man, I've been doing it 22 years. You kind of get to that age where you start thinking, when's something going to start hurting? Nothing's hurting yet. I'm back's still in good shape. I've only had one knee surgery. Shoulders are fine. And
God, you're a sparkling bill of health for a caddy.
Right.
Holy cow.
So I think as long as I can do it, and as long as people want me out there helping, I enjoy helping people. I enjoy competing, and ultimately, there's no replacement for winning. So, maybe not full time. It might just be a utility guy here and there when people need somebody for 2 or 3 weeks. If that's so be it. But I enjoy being out there, being a teammate.
Yeah. Where can people find out how to order it?
We're KingmadeJerky.com is the best place to order it and to get familiar with stories like this and more pictures of the guys, and basically we have that website up there. You don't have to believe me, but there's enough.
Well, they don't have to believe you, but they can believe me. I mean, I'm telling you, this is the best jerky there is. It's a clean eating. It's good. It's soft. It's moist. It doesn't destroy your jaws when you're eating it, and it tastes great. And that's why I wanted to have you on the podcast. I've been a fan remotely for a while, and it's when you're out on tour and you look over and you see stuff, it's like crackers and peanut butter or whatever. But if you see this on the to-go tent, on the first or 10th hole, it's like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna grab some of that. And those are the little things. I know it sounds crazy to say that with the pampering those guys get out there,
right.
But it's so nice to see certain things of high quality products, because it's hard to me, it's hard to maintain. It's easy at times to maintain a healthy lifestyle, but it's also hard because you're working all the time and you're going, and this gives you that opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
and it was funny. One of the players stopped by yesterday, and I don't really know them. They don't really know me, but they know the product.
Yeah.
And I shouted at him, and I say, hey, good to see you. I used to caddy for Sung J.M., and he remembered we played practice round at the U.S. Open last year together. And I said, do you want to try some jerky? And he pointed at it, and he looked at me. He goes, I eat that.
Yeah.
So it was, stuff like that. It really means a lot to know that you're helping people. And hey, listen, we know it's expensive, but we do offer an opportunity for people, to jump on our email list. We give discounts, run promotions quite often. So, to give it that first try and do it for yourself.
Well, quality's worth the price you pay. I mean, if not, you can go get the one with that you can get at a gas station and snap it off, and you don't know what the quality controls are there going in there. I'm like you. When I stop on the road, I always get the local. If I can find local homemade jerky, I'll eat it.
Absolutely.
But if it takes me 3 bites and my jaw's hurting at that point, I'm done.
It's on the floorboard.
It's on the floor. I don't understand why jerky has to taste like leather and have that consistency. That
I do, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, I get it. I know why. I mean, listen, I know you want more leather out there because this is fantastic. Jeff, thanks so much for doing this.
Hey,
and make sure y'all check out KingmadeJerky.com for more on this. I'm telling you, buy some. It doesn't matter what sport. You don't have to be a golfer to eat this stuff. Jerky's great. It's a high-protein food, low sugar, grass-fed beef, which is really important in my family. So keep it up. Thank you. Good job. I'll see you out on tour.